Pop culture let people of color down when they let Miley Cyrus go on with the way she did with what she was doing and using people of color as stage props and allowing her to get away with saying like his album wanted to have a black sound and like all this stuff. I think it's a huge letdown. It's really hurtful.
Elvis Presley. He's an example of what the culture has done in terms of appropriating from black culture and then putting their names on it and then capitalizing off of it and then not accepting it when it comes from a black voice or a black artist.
West Side Story, an amazing film, beautiful. We are a musicals family. We have all the musicals, we know all the words. But what most people don't know is that with the exception of one actress in that film, it's all brown face. I mean, you're in New York City telling the story of New York City Latino immigration, and you got Irish putting on brown face. You know, it's one of those things that, like, I still love the film, but it even makes me feel emotional right now thinking, whose idea was that? Why? Why can you not have brown people representing themselves in a film about them and their culture?
I just recently watched a clip of Stanley Kubrick's Full Metal Jacket, and there's a line in the movie where a Vietnamese sex worker walks up to two white male American GIs and seduces them with very charming words like, "Me so horny, me love you long time." I was just so let down. I was so disappointed. Not disappointed in the actress, because I know what she was going through. She didn't have a lot of roles. The creators, the writers, the directors, the producers, they had the power to tell that story. And that's why it's important to have diverse faces in the room when you create the story. That's where it starts.
The first thing that popped into my mind was Precious. Like, when that movie came out, I was really bothered because I think that was the first time I became aware of this constant need to portray Black lives as always in a struggle. Here's a young woman in the city that gets pregnant, raped by her father. There's so many things, which those are stories that do need to be told. But when Precious came out, I think at that time it felt like it was the only story that was being told about Black women again and again and again and again.
Miss Swan on Mad TV. When I was in middle school, I was the only Asian kid in school, and Mad TV was very popular. Me and my best friend would watch it all the time, and it was like people would come to me with those jokes, and it was definitely offensive. I just thought it was really annoying that people thought I must relate to her.
I lived in New York for a short period of time, and I dated a guy there, and it was super taboo in the jazz culture that I was living in that I was dating this white Jewish guy. He takes me to see this movie, Chiraq. I think I understand the irony and the satire message that it was trying to portray, but for people not of color, they don't see it as that. They see it as something to laugh at. He was like, laughing his ass off, and I was like, this is embarrassing. I am ashamed. The fact that it was so funny and expected of people of color to act this way. And when I didn't, he was kind of like, what's your problem? I'm like, what's your problem?